Welcome back, everybody, to Synalytics Crypto. My name is Mike. Thank you for joining me. Well, you guys, how you all doing? It's been a couple days since I've made a video. There's a lot been going on in the past couple days, but overall, I'm going to package this for you. And at the end of this video, I'm going to go on a pretty fat Elon Musk muskrat. I like calling him the muskrat. Elon Muskrat rant. I'm going to save that for the end in case you don't want to hear it. You can skip over that part or whatever. But I do have some things to say. For the most part, like I said, even in the past couple days, a lot has gone on. And if you look at the market cap, we're still pretty much right where we've kind of sort of been for a while. We've been bouncing around and we're still at 1.61. So, we started seeing signs of a recovery. If you start looking at, some of the 7 days here, we're looking at some pretty big bounce backs because everything was oversold, and we're definitely not in a bear market. But the bull market, I believe at this point is being delayed because it's still coming. I still think the end of the year is going to be some pretty significant gains across the board. But for right now, Elon comes out and he says what he says. Forgive me, I'll save it for the end. But for right now, we're still kind of oscillating, you guys. We're really not getting any traction, but we're not sinking to the depths of crypto despair. So the age-old question that everyone still has, are we in a bear market? Definitely not. We're still reeling. Bitcoin's right at 35.5K. Ethereum is still doing actually very, very well at $2,600. I don't see any really bad things on the horizon. I've said this and I do expect this to continue. They are not done shaking us out because basically what we've proven, and not myself and probably hopefully not a lot of you guys, because diamond hands, even though I hate that term, is a real thing. I definitely have diamond hands at this point. I've been through it all in 5 years in crypto, but I'm not selling. But the whales know how easily the cryptocurrency space at large is easily manipulated. So for them to kind of keep us in limbo for a while, and I don't know how much Elon actually has to really do with that in particular. This guy's way out in left field at this point. But there is probably more pain to come. There's more shaking out to come because these people want to get their hands on as much of your crypto as possible before they send everything to the moon. And we're going to go over the first piece of news here because I guess people are literally sending Bitcoin to the moon, and I don't understand why this has gained a lot of traction, because Elon's been talking about putting Dogecoin and 5 other coins on the moon, and now I guess BitMEX is sending physical Bitcoin to the lunar surface in Q4. Why? What's the point? I mean, it's a publicity stunt. I get that, but how idiotic to actually take the time, the money, the energy, the effort to literally get Bitcoin on the moon. I don't know how much Bitcoin they're putting on the moon. Probably not much at all. Probably, 0.0 whatever. But I mean, it'd be obviously stupid to put Bitcoin physically on the moon because at some point that Bitcoin might be worth so much money. It might be actually worth trying to get to the moon to get the Bitcoin that you spent all the money putting on the moon. I don't understand, but it's funny how, I guess this all kind of ties in with, Bitcoin's going to the moon. Yes, at some point, Bitcoin is going to the moon. And I don't mean physically. I mean, at some point, we are really going to see massive explosions. We are just in a lull right now. If you look at the overall picture, when in doubt, zoom out, you guys. You'll see where this is all headed. And hopefully you will have strong hands and you will not be selling your Bitcoin. And these people who are spending money to put on the moon are absolutely idiotic, in my opinion. But next piece of news, you guys. This is kind of interesting. Why Bitcoin's next breakout may not be an altcoin season signal. I'm not going to read this article because it's not worth reading. It's just worth mentioning that this is the kind of crap that they put out there. Look, we are primed at this point during this pullback in this leg of the bull run that we are still in, even though it is being delayed. When things run back into Bitcoin, they're going to run back into Bitcoin pretty strongly. And I do believe that we are primed for that exact positioning because Bitcoin will be the first one to move up. And we all know that everyone's going to take, their money that's been sitting on the sidelines, which is at pretty much an all-time high right now. There's a lot of There's a lot of stable coins sitting on the market ready to strike at the right time, and those people are smart. I've been doing this the same way. I haven't really bought anything, you guys. I'm just still kind of waiting to see how this shakeout happens. I've got some buy orders set pretty low on a couple of cryptos I really want to get more of a deeper position into. But there's a lot of people that are thinking that same mentality that I have, but we're talking about, you know, hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars, if not possibly billions at some point. So when they all run into Bitcoin, I do expect the altcoins to bleed into Bitcoin, because this is the cycle that we've been on for a very long time now. But of course, after this breakout that Bitcoin is destined to be on here at some point here soon, I believe, it all starts to flow back downhill. And it's just this cycle that they play. And if we can stay ahead of that game, we will do well, because there's certainly, I don't even think we can talk about alt season anymore, because I think it's just basically crypto season at this point. You know, it's here to stay. It's daily headline news all over the world. All kinds of things are happening. There's a lot of altcoins that are complete trash, but there's a lot of them that are really, really good. And ultimately, you want to have your altcoin positions be able to help you stack things like Bitcoin and now Ethereum as well, because Ethereum is a long-term play, as well as Cardano. I think that if I was going to be focused on any of those three, or any cryptos, those three would be kind of primary to what you want to stack and hold for the very long term, because there are projects you can make money on in the meantime, but you really do definitely want to be holding some Bitcoin. And you know, there's good reasons why, and I'll tell you what, as much as I love altcoins and everything, there's a darn good reason to be holding Bitcoin, a lot of darn good reasons, and this is huge news, you guys. This should not be overlooked. I've actually seen several different articles on this same subject in the news feed going on as early into this morning, and I think it's absolutely amazing. Revolutionary, as a matter of fact, is the title of this here. El Salvador, of all the countries in the world, El Salvador, you know what? Good for you, El Salvador. Freaking awesome. Massive props to you guys. You are way ahead of the game, and I would love to see this actually happen for them, because they would essentially really be the first people in the entire world, the first country in the world to actually make this happen. And fantastic, because how far ahead of the game you are from countries like China, the United States, I mean, big, massive economic players. This is amazing. Clap to you guys. My hat's off. El Salvador on its way to adopt Bitcoin as legal tender. Fantastic. Because eventually the entire world will fall into line eventually, when the banksters are done putting up their fight against crypto, which is already kind of sort of happening, but nobody really sees it because the headlines are very misleading, and they're definitely in favor of the crypto whales who just want to get and accumulate more Bitcoin. There's a reason why people with a lot of money want to accumulate a lot of Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is going to eventually be tied in with whether it's a world reserve currency or whether it's a world reserve just store of value, whatever it is. Bitcoin is definitely going to reach those heights. And this is just kind of a small step, but a very large step at the same time in the overall plan for where Bitcoin is just naturally heading, because of what it is, because everything that Bitcoin encompasses, people are really starting to see, hey, this is for life here. This is revolutionary as far as it comes to the creation of what sound money actually ought to be. And of course, it's going to be digital, because we're basically living in the future at this point. You know, we're well into the beginning of the 2020s decade, and the whole world's going digital and technological, and it's going to drive innovation in every sector of life. So El Salvador's president revealed at the ongoing Bitcoin 2021 conference in Miami that he plans to make Bitcoin a legal tender in his country. There's a lot of bullet points here. I don't really feel like reading them all right now. I mean, obviously, I think a lot of people at this point are very aware of the news and this news leaking out, because it's just kind of everywhere. If you follow, you know, Bitcoin or cryptocurrency news, which you should if you're invested, you should be seeing this kind of stuff and realizing it and having it kind of awaken you and realizing, hey, for all the FUD that's going on in the world right now, you look at something like this and you go, wow, this is the kind of stuff that we should be focused on as Bitcoin investors. Because like I said, it's going to spread out into the world as a sound source of money, as the world's fiat currencies continue to be printed into oblivion. This is kind of sort of the solution we have. I mean, it used to really be gold and precious metals, but so many things are swinging in favor of Bitcoin becoming that global asset, that digital asset that you can send peer to peer without having to deal with, hoarding or holding actual precious metals that you really can't kind of sort of use except for locally, or ditching out on the custody. People are buying gold and silver and they're not physically even owning it anymore. So it's like, what's the point? How do you get your gold from this store of value here to this other side of the world here in no time? You don't. You buy Bitcoin and you do it with Bitcoin. That's why Bitcoin is absolutely amazing. One more piece of news here before I go on my Elon Musk rant. Mark Cuban now owns over 100 altcoins. Here's a look at his largest crypto investments. Wow, talk about being diversified. I mean, this guy went from like kind of poo-pooing Bitcoin for a very long time, which was probably by design, to now holding over 100 altcoins. I mean, I thought I held a lot of altcoins, and I do. I held too many. I have like 31 or 33 altcoins, and I haven't really been reconstructing my portfolio right now, even though I know that I really need to do some work, but I believe in a lot of these projects, and that's why I hold them, and I'd rather be buying them right now than selling them. So that's very diversified. This guy's for lack of better terms, deep into crypto, and that's good, because really essentially it brings a lot of attention to the space overall, and it shows people that, hey, if a lot of people who have a lot of money are interested in these kinds of things, we should probably be too. And I'm not saying that we should copy, particularly his portfolio or anything, because I think a lot of, I know myself and a lot of you guys watching and tuning into this, we probably know a lot more about crypto than Mark Cuban does. I mean, let's face it, this guy's not spending his whole day and time, investing in these things or looking into these things. He's got a team of investors that do these kinds of things for him, and then he kind of gets the nuts and bolts delivered into the pre-packaged so that he can come out and be the face and talk about it. So the way things are marketed is very important in these days and age. But he's definitely in, and it's really good because he is definitely a public figure, and people, whether you don't like him or whether you like him, he sure as heck ain't no Elon Musk. So I like to see these kinds of things, and he definitely is into some of the same stuff that I am, especially when he starts talking about Ethereum. He understands where Ethereum is going. I think he's a little bit short-sold on Cardano. Maybe that's because he's such an Ethereum guy. I don't really know. I can only speculate. But the fact that he's really, and he talks about Matic, Polygon, he's been outspoken for over a week now that he's got a pretty sizable position in them. He sees the fundamentals and where this layer 2 development is going, and all the things that it can implement, and all the things that can be implemented on that platform. So don't really want to read this entire article, but it's definitely good to be on top of these kinds of things, just to know where things are going and to know where the sentiment is starting to swing. Because I'll tell you what, these multi-billionaires, they're all in a club, you guys. They're all friends. They all communicate with each other, or their people are communicating with their people. And, they are the ones who tell the story of where things are going financially in the world. So you better believe it's good to know this kind of information. So Elon Musk, I don't even really want to pull up any of the information because we all know what's going on. We've all seen the tweets. We've all, I don't know what to say really, but that's not true because I have a lot to say. What is this guy's problem, right? What is his deal? Why is he so manic and so strange about this whole thing? All of these theories are coming out about how now he's got this master plan, right? Because I think people give Elon Musk way too much credit. This guy doesn't deserve the credit that he's getting. He's starting to show signs that he's basically a megalomaniac. He's extremely egotistical. He's all over the place, and he's really, at this point, he's messing with people's investments. And I don't think that's cool, because a lot of us who've been in this space for a long time, we put a lot of work into crypto. We put a lot of time. I mean, at this point, crypto, is my whole life. This is how I survive, and to watch his stupid tweets that are very childish at the core, very self-centered, very look at me, I need attention kind of thing. And it actually affects the market, because what happens is it starts triggering the bots. The bots watch the news and they see these things. And then the whales, they jump in and say, this is our opportunity to short everything and then buy it all back cheaper. It's a big fat game. It's hard to swallow, you guys. I know, especially for newer people in this space, it must be really difficult to look at this, because it's disgusting, really, what's going on, the manipulation and the fact that this ecosystem, although it's just so beautiful and so it has so much potential, right, to just really change every aspect of life, but it's so fragile at the same time because our market cap isn't high enough. When Bitcoin's, upwards of the same market cap as gold, upwards of $9-10 trillion, people won't be able to do this anymore. And keep that in mind, which is exactly why they take advantage of every single opportunity that the market presents them. These guys are more sharks than whales. Believe me, they're whales because they have a lot of money and they have a lot of influence, but they're sharks by mentality. They're out there trying to shark every single person who is so easy to bend and break into these kinds of things. So it is a very fragile ecosystem, and it is hard to watch. And Elon Musk, you're a jerk. I don't know how else to say it. You used to be such a hero to people because you really kind of sort of stood there and kind of, in a way, promoted something that is so wonderful that does help the common man, because this is something that a lot of people are invested in. We've got even young kids these days are jumping into Bitcoin, and they're ill-informed, unfortunately, because they don't really know how this market works. And then a guy like you who has so much potential to really lift us up into a place that where we really need to be, you're doing way more damage than good. And I don't think this guy's got a master plan. I think his master plan is to continue being the megalomaniac jerk that he is and influence the market. It's almost like he's laughing at us, you guys. He's getting a lot of heat. I mean, Elon Musk used to be a lot of people's heroes, and I've been reading the chat in the Telegram group, which, by the way, if you haven't joined the Telegram group, come join us below. There's a lot of really great people in there with a lot of really great ideas. But I was thumbing through that and scrolling to catch up because I haven't been around for the past day and a half. But there's a lot of hate, you guys. There is and much deserved, much deserved. You know, I'm not a preacher of negativity. I'm a very positive-minded person. And even when I see the cryptocurrency space taking a beating like it's kind of doing sort of right now, I always stay positive because I know where this is headed, and I know that the end result is going to be a lot better than it looks right now because the picture's a little bleak, but it's really not. We're still doing very, very well, you guys. But like I said, I don't like to be negative, but this guy, you know, well deserved. I don't know how somebody can just open their mouths so much and just invite. It's like he's inviting, you know, the negativity upon his life, and then he gets all butthurt and sensitive, and then he starts, you know, tweeting even more, and it's like, dude, what a crap storm this really is. What a game, what a ride, what a joke. I just wish that he would just go away and stop influencing our market, because you know what, we've been doing this for a long time, some of us, and this is our livelihood. So you got to knock it off, bro. Not that you're ever going to see this video, or I'm telling you, but this is just the voice of one man who does, you know, one thing in his own room in his own time. And, you know, I share a common sentiment with a lot of people out there. You're doing a lot of damage, and I hope that you reap that. You're even hurting your own company at this point. People are pissed, dude. His board members are pissed. The people that are in line with him, investments, everybody's pissed off at Elon right now. So does he have some sort of master plan? If he does, he's definitely not carrying it out the way he should, because at this point, I don't think even people who are super into Dogecoin are very enamored with the shenanigans that he's pulling. So it's a shame, guys, that one person has so much influence, but I believe that this market is much greater. It's much bigger than one man. We're talking about something that's a worldwide investment. We're talking about something that is still gaining a lot of traction in the retail space and in the overall space as well, as far as, you know, big corporations and all that stuff. People are trying to find better entry points into Bitcoin. At this point, I don't think people are so quite as scared as to watch what happened in 2018 and, you know, the beginning of 2018, where we went from almost 20 grand to, you know, and then with the Black Swan event, you know, with COVID and everything. I don't think people are quite so scared of Bitcoin, you know, going into the crapper. I think that they're more opportunistic as to when at this point do I get in, because I see now, you know, where this can go, and you're better off not buying at the top, obviously. So trying to find the best entry point is a good thing. And at this point, I'm still not able to give advice to anybody, even though I am not a financial advisor. I do give a lot of advice to friends and family, and some of you who follow my channel. I don't know what to do right now. I'll be honest with you. I'm not one of those crypto YouTubers that pretends to know everything and predict everything exactly as I called it. And I'm not a chart guy, because how can you chart, you know, where is room for Elon's tweet in the chart? Show me that super chart, guys. Yes, you know, the charts have some commonality with trends and swings and momentums and all this stuff and whatever, but how do you chart this jerk off over here tweeting, you know, silly little messages like how he's breaking up with Bitcoin, and now he's promoting this coin, and now he's doing this, and now he's doing that? So I don't really know, you guys. I can only tell you that my money that I have set aside is staying there until I start to really see a change in momentum, because they've been faking us out. They've been giving us these head fakes, you know, like in the NBA or like in MMA, you know, where we're ducking and we're weaving and we're swerving and nobody really knows what to do. And then you have a couple days of green and you think, oh, it's now trend reversal, it's time to jump in. The market's not showing that right now. The market's showing that it's very fragile right now. And I do actually believe that there is more downside, and there is a point where I'm willing to take a risk, because The farther down it gets, the more I can actually accumulate with what I do have put on side. And I know that at some point, if I can just, last through that, I am creating that gap. And so, that gap between where I could have bought maybe right now and the gap that I'm trying to buy in, that creates, a nice chunk of change there. And then anything above and beyond that is gravy, and I can start actually looking at taking some profits. And when I do, believe me, I will be making plenty of videos, you guys. I don't really have any exit. People keep asking me about my exit strategies, and I'm flattered by that you guys must give me enough credibility to care what I have to say about an exit strategy. I just don't have one because I'm not exiting the crypto market. I'm not planning on doing any of that. I want to take some better profits along the way when we get back into that territory. And at the end of the year, I think we're going to have those blow off tops. I really, really, truly believe that. But for now, you guys, hey, just sit tight, pay attention to the news, watch the trends. Don't put too much on what, big baby Elon is talking about. And, just have your head in the game. Just have your head in the game and keep it there. Happy trading. Y'all know I love you very much. I appreciate you. I appreciate you watching. If you have not signed up for this channel yet and you've made it this far, please do so. Click the red subscribe button and give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Drop your opinions. That's the best way you guys can support my channel, is to comment on my videos. Share them, like them, send them out there. More people need to hear what I have to say. Not that what I have to say is super important, but it's very level-headed, you guys. I try to give you the most honest, level-headed approach that I possibly can, just so that I can help you guys make sense of this market, which is an absolute crazy place to be. So in the meantime, happy trading. Be well, be peaceful, be full of joy. Go love somebody, go do something good for somebody, feel good about yourself, and be confident in what you're doing. And just be a good person, That's all we can really do at the end of the day. No Elons here, all right? Peace.